Hi, it's John Kelly. In this module, we are going to discuss what is perhaps the practical difference between a risk of material misstatement and a key audit matter. And as always, we want to be efficient and effective, follow professional standards, and document what we have done properly. Now, after the fact, I guess the difference between a risk of material misstatement and a key audit matter is, after the fact, a risk of material misstatement is something that, based on the available evidence, you really wish you would have found the problem. So it was something you should have recognized as a risk, done audit procedures to find, and you would have hoped very much that you would have found it. A key audit matter, on the other hand, is something that probably or certainly will materially change in the future with new future information. So you're pretty sure it's going to be wrong in the future, but as far as you know now as auditor, it's the best estimate, but you just know that that best estimate will change in the future. So to illustrate, a client has been found paying bribes, and there probably are going to be, or might be, or we don't know, but there are going to be undetermined future consequences. Now, as a risk of material misstatement, that is dealt with by disclosing the measurement uncertainty. You would, as auditor, make sure that the preparer had disclosed the situation and had disclosed that there would be undetermined future consequences. If, on the other hand, you deal with that as a key audit matter and disclose it in the audit report, then when in the future the consequence occurs, you can say, well, we disclosed that. Right there in the audit report, we told you that that could happen. And that deals with the possible future criticism head on. So how do you deal with a risk of material misstatement? Well, you do and document a good audit, and you would check that measurement uncertainty is disclosed, and you would check that the math and sensitivity analysis surrounding the sensitivity analysis were disclosed. And then you might, because presumably the auditor who disclosed the bribe thing as a key audit matter also thought there was a risk of material misstatement had done those things, and you may decide to protect yourself as auditor to, in addition, disclose it as a key audit matter. The standards for risk of material misstatement. Audits provide a reasonable level of assurance and don't reduce risk to zero. They just bring it down to an acceptable low level. There are many inherent limitations of an audit. 200A51 lists those, and 200A52 states quite clearly that there is an unavoidable risk that material misstatements may be missed even if the audit is properly done. Now, the only good news is that in the new audit report, as we talk about key audit matters, we can also include the statement that there is an unavoidable risk that material misstatements may be missed even if the audit is properly done. So we will be able to include that and include that warning to readers. Key audit matter, do and document a good audit, of course. Check that measurement uncertainty is disclosed, of course, and math and sensitivity analysis, and then you get to put a warning in that despite all the good work we did and all the questions we asked and audit procedures we employed, there is still a possibility that the number will be found to be wrong in the future. Now, when you are warned, that means that you have no cause of action against the auditor, because you were told that these things could happen, and now that they've happened, you cannot complain that you weren't warned. And for risk of material misstatement, you could include warnings in the report or by reference to your website where you have a longer description. And in the key audit matters, the warning is going to be embedded in the description of the key audit matter. So make very sure you document all of this and make very sure that you describe the key audit matter in the detail required, which is reasonably long. Each key audit matter is probably going to take perhaps up to a page to describe. If you have 5 or 6 or 10 of them, you're going to have 5 or 6 or 10 pages of warnings in the audit report about things that could go wrong. So, thanks for listening.